Hello everybody. Today I have with me my wonderful fiance, Karina.
Hello everyone.
Today we just wanted to make a video talking about women who use knives and how this industry overall hasn't really been too accepting or I guess there hasn't been a whole lot of thought into women who use knives. Yes, while there are about a handful of female designers, even some of their designs, there aren't they aren't so easy for ladies, specifically ones with their nails done did and all, to be able to properly open and close safely, quickly. To use some of these knives. Uh, None of the knives I have here are designs by females, but for the most part, the ones in my collection, we picked out throughout this week ones that are easier for her to manipulate for the most part. But we just want to talk about a couple little things about each of them. So what really inspired this video was this guy. It's a recent knife that I got. This is a Civivi Baby Banter, designed by Ben Banters. And he made a post recently on Instagram, just talking about how, we within this industry we need to be a lot more accepting of women using knives and being more mindful, just being fair for the most part. Some of the marketing that has to do with women is typically inappropriate, and this isn't what we're really going for. I get it, sex sells, but this is supposed to be a tool. This isn't the fashion industry here we're talking about. These are tools. These are, collectible enthusiast items, things like that. He made a real good point, and it inspired me to make this video with my significant other. He had a picture of this model hanging on the waistband of a lady with some jeans, and it was a rather appropriate picture, and he had a couple words to say about being more accepting within the industry towards women, and that it's something that it isn't really spoken about too often. So I just wanted to let my fiance fumble around with this and just give her a little opinion on it, if it's easier for her to open and close. Of course, with having her nails, it is a little bit of a hindrance, but I figured with the little holiday coming over, the Valentine's.
Little holiday.
Yeah, little holiday. I mean, I wouldn't consider it a big holiday, but Valentine's, I figured there are probably a lot of guys who are enthusiasts of pocket knives and probably want to get their lady something, but maybe their lady really isn't into knives, because most of the time they're not. But like me, per se, I would love to give her something because it's something that I love playing around with and using, of course, as a tool. And I figured that she might be able to, have fun using it too, and possibly get, acquainted with some of these designs and companies, and, be just as passionate as I am. At least that's the hope.
We'll see one day. For the most part, this knife is actually pretty easy for me to open. The thumb studs are actually pretty helpful, and with the lining lock, it's actually not too bad. Sometimes the grooves here make it kind of difficult, and they kind of hurt my thumb on the side, but the side is actually not too bad either. So I guess this one's actually pretty easy for me to open and close. If I had to go and stab someone, maybe I would struggle a little for a sec. But for the most part, it's actually pretty easy for me to open. So yeah, I would definitely carry this one in my purse or in my makeup bag, or just steal it from him.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Not only do you have to consider the utilitarian use of all of these knives, but chances are, most of the time when women are carrying knives, it's typically with the intent for self-defense. We don't own any guns because we live in California, and well, you can't have anything fun in California. So we stick with knives for the most part. And I guess some of these knives are easier to open and close for women that don't have nails. So it just takes a little bit of practice and dexterity, but I just wanted to show you guys a couple of different, actuating methods that would be easy for somebody who's relatively new, within this hobby. So there's that little guy. So for the most part, it's easy for her to like slow roll it open, and the liner lock is relatively light, but it is something that it's very slow acting, knife for her. One that she was using for the longest time was the Spyderco Native 5, I believe. I think that's the model. But it's just a traditional backlock, super old school, tried and true. It's extremely comfortable in the hands. This is the lightweight model, so it weighs basically nothing. And yeah, I mean, this is what she was using for a while, and you just have her play with that.
I actually stopped using this one because I would struggle to open it, especially with my nails now, having the
You used to do
hole.
it two-handed for the most part.
Yeah, because then it would just kind of lock up, and that's not really going to help me out in a situation if I needed it for self-defense, I guess. Yeah, no, I'm struggling to even close it now. Yeah, I had to use my two hands to actually open and close it. So that's not very practical, I guess. So got something different now.
Yeah. So then she upgraded to the Para 3 lightweight. I have two of the same model, just for one for me to play around with and for her to use. She's been using this one for the most part, and it's a lot easier for her to open and close.
Yeah.
Obviously you have the Spyderco hole here, and if your lady doesn't have long acrylic nails, for the most part she should be able to like roll it open and pinch the back lock here, and just operate the knife as it was intended, one-handed. So
there goes my hand.
yeah, there goes your hand as you cut your finger off.
That's okay. It's easier for me to open it because the hole's actually larger than the other knife. So I guess more of my thumb can actually go in, but closing it's still kind of difficult. I think I'm going to steal the blue one that you have there.
Alright, we'll get that out of the way. So, I mean, these are a pretty great option because they're super lightweight. It has the wire clip. It's not going to be too intrusive within a small clutch purse or a backpack, or, if your significant other actually does have pockets, then, this would fit rather well for the most part. Another knife by Spyderco. This is the Spyderco Smock. This is one that she actually really does enjoy, but the biggest gripe with this one is that it is actually a very large, rather heavy knife for what it is.
It's so great to open though. It's so smooth, easy to close. Probably like the easiest one here.
And it's pretty safe for the most part, even if it does have, a really good dropping action, because it has a little button on it. But yeah, it's huge. So that's probably gonna be a no. Unless your lady doesn't mind, carrying something a little bit larger.
She doesn't mind size.
Yeah, she doesn't mind that.
You doing this?
Yeah. So if there was possibly a smaller version of this, then it'd probably be a lot better for her, or maybe a lightweight version. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I think if it was shorter, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That would be my go-to.
This is more of like a very slim gentleman carry, but she has she has her own thoughts on this one.
I don't like this one. It's not I like something that's just a little wider, I guess, from the actual, what is this? The body of it, I guess you can say, or the scales.
So that's the Boca Plus Urban Trapper, and I guess she said it just feels pretty cheap. And I mean, I would consider it just a little bit over a budget knife. It was $100. You could get some other variants of it with slightly more affordable blade material that come well underneath that price point. But from the moment I got it and I handed it to her, she said it feels cheap, it feels junky. It's very light and difficult for her to get a grip on it because it is rather thin and smooth scaled.
And for the most part, it's easy to open and close, but it's just not comfortable. I would want something just a little thicker, like the one you just showed me.
Yeah. Yes, this is another one. So this is the Tucson 144 or 244, I believe it is. The Maverick. And this is a full titanium frame lock knife. This is just over the top and huge. This obviously isn't something that a lady would want to carry comfortably within a purse. This weighs more than a phone quite easily, and it's not really, it wouldn't be a wise decision to get that for your partner.
It's like a little Nokia.
Yeah, it's freaking huge. Now this little guy, this is the Fair and Forge Knife Works or Blade Works Mini Archbishop. It is a very lightweight knife, very small. I'll just let her talk about it.
I don't remember having a lot to say about this one.
Is it easy for you to open and close?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's nothing too different from the other one. It kind of reminds me of the Baby Banter one, but it's still kind of. Oh, actually, it's too thin. It reminds me.
Also too thin.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you can see narrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it a little thicker.
All right.
I mean, I can still open it with like ease. The flipper tabs are my best friend, and that's what makes it the easiest. But with time, it starts to hurt my thumb with the lining lock mechanisms.
Oh, yeah. Right. A bit of trouble playing her off that one.
Yeah, opening it here for sure, but if I do the flip, that's easy. Closing it gets annoying here. That's why I like the buttons more.
Yeah. This is another one over here. This is the Civivi Backlash. It is a very old model, but I love it. This is the first knife I believe she ever gifted me, like 2-3 years back, I think now. And kind of the same issue with the Smock and the Maverick model from Tucson. It's just a really large knife. Still easy to open and close and to get a good purchase on it, but again, it is a rather large knife. This is the new Civivi Altis. It is a thumb stud deployment and button lock closing and also deploying knife. So, with the button lock here, you can swing it open. The one thing she did have to say about this one is that the throw on the button, you have to press down rather hard to, open and, close the blade. But for the most part, I think she was able to, fumble around with it rather well.
Yeah, pretty much. I would just have to do it sideways. I would have been able to do it like, vertically. I have to do it horizontally to close it and to, even opening it. But yeah, it's still pretty good as far as opening and closing. I like this one too.
Yeah. So Civivi is coming out with a butt ton of button lock knives for 2022. There was the Cogent that was released right at the end of this last year. I skipped out on getting it because I didn't really like the design too much. I was too much on the fence about it. so I decided not to get it, but chances are I might just end up picking it up sometime soon, because that one is actually a flipper with a button lock, and while it is a little bit larger with this, it should still be a rather lightweight knife design, and I'll probably end up just gifting it to her, because at least for her having her nails and everything, the thickness of the Cogent handle wise, I think it'd be comfortable for her, and with the flipper tab will be easier for her to actually open up the blade fast and reliably one-handed, and then close it safely with the button keeping her fingers out of the way. And then last here, this I believe is a discontinued colorway of the Hogue X1 Microflip. This is a full US made knife. I believe it's like 150 bucks. Honestly, it's not that bad. The handles are made out of aluminum. I'm not too sure now if they have slightly more affordable and lighter weight handle material, but for what it is still relatively small, lightweight. It is a flipper. It does have a button. It's a little heavy for what it is, but it's the right size. And after a little bit of discussion, she had decided that was probably her favorite one out of my collection.
Yeah, pretty much the size is perfect. I actually don't mind the weight so much, because that's what I feel like I had an issue with the what is it, the purple one?
This one?
Yes, I felt like it felt too light and cheap to me. So I kind of like a little bit of weight. And as I mentioned earlier, the button locks are probably the easiest for me to use. And I kind of like that it actually kind of stays like this for a second. Gives me an opportunity to actually close it. If for whatever reason my nails got in the way for a sec, my hand wouldn't get chopped off. So it's actually pretty comfortable and easy. I'm definitely gonna steal this one, and he can have the Spyderco one back. So I think this would be, practical for a lot of women with nails. I really like that one. Unfortunately, it's discontinued, like you just mentioned.
And there are other colorways, but may not be as preferable and vibrant for a lady. Not to say that women are only subjected to colorful knives, but I mean, as you guys have seen, a lot of my collection, I have a crap ton of colorful knives just because I like the just different colors. So if any of you guys really want to get a knife for utility and possible self-defense purposes for your significant other, I would really suggest something that has a button lock or a back lock possibly, and a flipper, because it's easier for them to have their nails out of the way and to just keep their fingers safe and still be able to properly use these knives. And another one too, the Civivi Altus, they might not be able to really thumb flick it out because their nails would be in the way, but she is able to slow roll it out. With a little bit more practice, I'm sure she'd be able to get it out a lot faster. It is on bearing, so it is rather smooth, and with one hand she is able to just open and close it.
Even just using the button lock.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually, maybe I might steal this one instead. This actually feels easier.
Yeah, no, that's my new favorite knife. You're definitely not taking that one.
We'll see.
If Lady HQ comes out with their own little colorway that they usually do, then she can have
color.
She'll have that one. I'll custom dye it for her to whatever color she wants, and that'll be her new knife. But
oh yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys our thoughts on what open and closing mechanisms women can use, whether they have acrylic nails or not. I know that a lot of ladies, they care about having their nails done. Some other ladies a little bit more tomboyish. They don't really care for nails, or maybe their workplace environment doesn't allow for them, and that's completely okay. So yeah, just want to share with you guys all that.
Thank you for watching.
And thank you guys for watching.